Hello and welcome to Sheila Lives Out Loud. My name is Sheila Moniga and I'm thrilled you're on this channel. Please click subscribe and hit notifications so you never miss an episode, and we upload those every Monday. Now, as always, when we upload, it's always great to hear from you. So please drop a comment in the comment section below and share this video because it's powerful, it's inspiring, and it could be just the ticket that you've been waiting for to let you know that you've got to keep pushing and believing in your dreams. My guest is an exciting and amazing powerhouse. Make way for the founder of Pathcare Kenya, Dr. Kiran Radia, next. Joining me for a conversation on a labor of love, a journey of life, and making a difference in Kenya and indeed Africa is the founder of Pathcare Kenya, Dr. Radia Kiran. Daktari, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, Sheila. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
It's so wonderful to meet you and speak to you virtually. And I know it's just a matter of time before physically this is going to be a conversation we can continue.
I look forward to that, Sheila.
Indeed. Now, I've been to Pathcare Kenya several times looking for tests for different things, but never once did it dawn on me that maybe the story here is far greater than just the test that I had checked in for, until a friend let me know that there is a wonderful inspirational story behind this amazing institution that's making a difference for patients and medics, not just in Kenya, but inspiring Africa and the globe as well. So, in speaking about Pathcare Kenya, we have to start with talking about you. So please tell us a little bit about Dr. Radia.
Well, Sheila, I am second generation Kenyan, born in Nairobi, brought up in Nairobi. So Kenya is my country.
Right.
Then when I was young, I wanted to be a doctor.
Why did you want to be a doctor? What made you want this
I don't know. I just wanted to be a doctor. And the parents really wonderful supporting me. I did medicine. I entered the medical school in Nairobi, actually. Yeah. So competitive. We had to work so hard. All my youth was gone in working hard to keep that medical seat going. So I did medicine. And then during that course of medicine, when I did internship, I realized pathology is the pivot of all laboratory, because we were always running to the laboratories for answers on our patients. And I said, oh my God, if this is where the answers are, then this is where I want to be. And we had a really inspiring Professor Kungu there who persuaded me to do pathology. Now, you must know, Sheila, that pathology is not a glamorous job. Because it's behind the scenes.
Yes.
And everybody, all the doctors want to see the patient directly. But I chose to be a pathologist because I said, now this is where all the answers are. I'm going to get all the answers for all the medicines. And I've never regretted it. Soon after internship, I joined pathology, which I had to, at that time, we didn't have a postgraduate program in pathology. So I chose the field of histopathology. You know, pathology has a lot of specialties.
Yes.
So I chose, you have hematology, which deals with blood, microbiology, with germs, clinical chemistry, with diabetes and all those investigations, all the clinical investigations. Histopathology is where we deal with tissue. That's where we make the diagnosis. That's where the surgeons, the doctors are depending on what have I removed? What is the diagnosis of the patient? Whether it's a skin biopsy, a lymph node biopsy, or massive surgical section specimen. So we didn't have a postgraduate program at that time. Remember, I'm talking about very early. We had only 2 histopathologists in the whole country.
No.
1975, yes.
No.
Yes, Sheila, imagine. We worked so hard at Kenyatta to get all those reports out, to make sure we were serving the histopathology for the entire country.
Country,
Being
yes.
about 20,000 specimens a year. Oh, I had to do postmortems, which were about 10 a day, teach. It was very exciting, but very, very hard work. University of Nairobi was like a gold mine in terms of material.
Yeah.
And it was so exciting. But I had to go to Britain at St. Thomas's because they, the exams were not available here. So then I had to proceed to England, and I did my finals and or most of the training at St. Thomas's Hospital.
Okay. Now, before we talk about being in the UK, I want to ask about being a woman in this field and being only one of two in Kenya. How was that for you? Did you feel like you were a pioneer? Did you feel like you were setting the scene for more young ladies and future doctors and future pathologists who would wade in and say, we're going to follow in Dr. Radia's footsteps?
Sheila, this went back in our times when we did medicine. There were only about, like in a class of 40, we would have only about 6 girls who were doing medicine. So we got so used to it. We were one of the guys. If you're trying to be a woman, that you will be really sort of cast aside and made the life would be difficult as far as medical world is concerned. I remember when I go to assist in operating theaters, oh my God, that's tense. The language, the jokes that are going around would make your face and ears red. But you forget you're a woman. You just work because that's what you are. You're one of the doctors, and they don't see you as a woman. And when I did pathology, there was already a senior pathologist who then went on to become the first immunologist of this country. It was really good then. We worked, but I had a great mentor, Professor Kungu, who really never made me feel any sort of insubordinate or somebody who can't do it. He just encouraged me, and that helped a lot. And I didn't feel that I was the only woman. I was just knew I was one of the numbers bodies carrying on the work, which was enormous at that time.
Right, just from the numbers that you've shared, that truly was a big task.
I loved it.
Right in London. And, most people, once you go to London and you're working at such a great hospital, coming back to Kenya, that's another conversation. And so I want to know about your experiences in the UK and what led you to decide, I'm going back home.
I must tell you, Sheila, I was so, what is the word I want to use? So humbled to know that we had learned a lot in Kenya. That the training I had in Kenya was as good, if not better, than what I would have had in Britain. I knew all the answers. And in fact, not because I'm clever, but because I have been trained and I've seen that tissue before. And they would all say in a session, the girl from Kenya will not take this answer.
That was always up. Me.
Kenya, no. Anybody else knows
it? That's a good problem to have.
That is when I realized what sort of experience we go through in Kenya. People don't realize it. In 3rd year of medicine, we had to go around doing spinal, lumbar punctures for the spinal fluid, liver biopsies. We did not have the luxury of a senior guy coming in. I don't think we had many accidents. I think we did it well.
Well,
and that was the thing. That was the scene, We had to do a lot more.
Okay. So what made you decide to come back? Why come back here? Because you could have practiced in the UK and made lots and lots and lots of money. And, what made you think this is great, but the next chapter of my life is back in Kenya?
I often think about that time because, Sheila, once I got my membership there, there's a huge shortage of histopathologists. I was offered 4 consultancies.
Wow. 4?
My God. So when I wanted to come back, and they said, don't go to Kenya. What do you have there? And I said to myself, And my husband was there also at that time. So
Right.
we both said, no, we will make a difference. We were
Yeah.
also being sponsored we were on a scholarship, and you
Mhm.
feel it is your duty to come back and
Yeah.
really serve in Kenya. So we both decided that
Mhm.
we can contribute a lot more here. People trusted us, trusted me to come back and build that department. So I came back and no regrets up to now. Sometimes later on, when there were no reagents in the hospital, I did
Yeah.
regret, but for a while, for a minute. Otherwise,
For a small one.
great. It's been great coming back and making a difference. I think so.
I want us to now look at setting up Pathcare Kenya. So you've come back to Kenya. What made you think, okay, I'm going to start my own, labs and make
Much
this?
later, much later. I came back uh, to Kenya and went straight to medical school to build that up
Mm-hmm.
first. And we took on teaching of the department, then started developing, and we took on the teaching of dental students. I remember working, I had gone for courses on dental pathology. So I helped build that department. It was so much fun. I never wanted to leave. Plus the medical school and the university and Kenyatta National Hospital, the government, but I was an arm of the University of Nairobi, training and working. Unfortunately, in about 85, 86, we had some crisis at Kenyatta National Hospital. The reagents, our supplies were not coming through. And there was a lot of frustrations of the doctors. You remember there was a lot of strikes and just the
Yeah.
professionals were being frustrated. This is in 80s. It was a lot. If you go
Yeah.
into that, both the lawyers and the doctors were being harassed quite a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
nobody was listening to us. It came to a point where the facilities, our basic infrastructure falling apart. We didn't
Mm-hmm.
have reagents to process tissue. I felt so awful. And I told Professor Kungu at that time, I remember, that I haven't spent so much time of my life to be
Yeah.
sitting around and feeling frustrated and that the patients are not getting their reports. So in
Mm-hmm.
86, there was a mass exodus of a lot of consultants. Because,
Mm-hmm.
doctors are not difficult people. All they want is the right environment to work and leave
And
us alone.
facilities and equipment. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, we just want our things to work with, the toys, you can say, whatever, and leave us alone because we all love the work. So 85, that's 86,
Yeah. Yeah.
mass exodus of majority of the consultants from Kenyatta National Hospital. I think a lot of people would know that history. And this was
Yeah.
just because of the frustrations. And then the 86, I actually joined a private hospital,
Mm-hmm.
Aga Khan, to tell you the truth. And I
Mm-hmm.
worked there for 16 years,
Oh,
building
wow.
the laboratory there. That was
Mm-hmm.
another journey, my second journey.
Right.
Now, private sector, it was difficult to come to terms that
Mm-hmm.
you're charging for something, you know, the whole lot. Well,
Yeah.
it was
It was a
uh,
learning curve for you from
yes,
where the services are free, but now here is paid for services. So you're able to see the different models of healthcare
yes.
provision.
So the
Right.
poor people couldn't access. That was really the saddest thing. And
Mhm.
we worked with the government how to help with the private institution, how to
Yeah.
help the poor getting the subsidized prices and all that. And
Mhm.
we managed it quite
Mhm.
well, actually. So
Mhm.
I worked there, got a chance to build up the lab now with all
Yeah.
the facilities. So that was also very exciting to
Wonderful.
build a laboratory with the facilities. And we had international architects who would come and advise us on the laboratories. So that was another very exciting part of my life. For 16
Great.
years, I worked there.
But then after 16 years, it was time for the next chapter to begin.
Next chapter. Then I wanted to, once one of the administrators actually told me,
Yeah.
don't fly, learn to walk. Because I'd say, why don't we move there? Now we need international accreditation. We are ready. And you know what
Mhm.
I was told?
Right.
Don't fly, walk. And I
Okay.
said, oh my God, time to move on.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the opportunity, the South Africans, to meet the South Africans. I
Yeah.
went there and I said, oh my God, this is what we need in Kenya.
Mm.
Nationally accredited laboratory and international recognition for
Yeah.
laboratory work. So I
Mhm.
came back and started laboratory in Pathcare in 2002. But the
Oh,
best part is the buck stops on my table.
yes. And that's, I'm looking at you and I'm seeing a physician, but I'm also seeing an entrepreneur and I'm also seeing a change maker. I'm seeing so many different facets of who you are. And in setting up the laboratory and seeing practices in the private sector and also the public sector, you had a very specific mission and a goal. What was
Yes.
that when you got going?
Basically, I wanted independence, where I would be able to move without too many, bureaucracies. So I felt I was running out of time. I needed to put laboratory in Kenya, laboratory practice on the world, in the world map, that we can do it. Everybody looks down at us. It is terrible. So you have to do this accrediting requirements, everything, to reach out there and tell them, hey guys, we're not bad here. So I
Exactly.
was the first lab. I started in 2002. Everybody said I was crazy because I started the week of the election in 2002.
Oh, your timing, your timing, your timing.
2002. Everybody said, you're crazy. You're crazy. And I said, no, now we decided,
Yeah.
let's go for it.
Hmm.
We'll see what happens. Let it be. And so I took the plunge
Yeah.
and went into it in 2000. And again, it was something I've never regretted because
Oh,
now you're running it on your terms. So
right.
in 2004, believe it or not, with 100%, that was also what I had in a partnership with South Africa. But we told them, they were a bit hesitant. I
Yeah.
told them, if you want my partnership to go into partnership with me and come into Kenya, then on my terms, it will be 100% Kenyan staff. I want something that can continue, not something that will go away if you decide to go away.
Wow.
So first there was a little bit of hesitation. Eventually they knew I was a stubborn woman. They agreed. They said, okay, we'll watch for a year or
Uh-huh.
2 years. And if you
Oh.
need help, then we'll have to bring in South Africans to
Mhm.
teach us.
Mhm.
Guess what, Sheila? We got our accreditation, international accreditation, with a lot of training. It's a new
Yeah.
world. So we
Right.
got a lot of training from South Africa. I cannot take that away. With 100% Kenyans, we got our laboratory accredited, the first in East and Central Africa. I
Oh.
felt I have achieved a goal. Honestly, that
Within
was,
2 years of setting up. Wow.
or not only setting up training.
Yeah.
Training was the hardest. The whole mindset has to change. How you're doing laboratory practice and
Mhm.
how, because what's the idea of an accredited laboratory? The result you produce must be reproducible all over the world. So we have external quality control systems where they send us unknown samples, we analyze, we report it back, and we are compared with thousands of laboratories where you stand. And as the results started coming in, we're doing very well, Kenyans. So people started saying, now who's this in Kenya?
Yeah.
Everybody started looking up. You mean there's a laboratory that can do external quality control? Is there a laboratory that can ensure that all the steps are taken? So 2004, we got our international accreditation, the first one, East and Central
Fantastic.
Africa.
Oh, so it was the first of many.
First of many, this was great. This was a dream come true, a goal for me. And do you know, we raised the bar of pathology services. Now, We have many internationally accredited laboratory. Our pathology services went to another level. Now we have many pathologists. From 3 years to pathologists, we have grown because everybody's starting the postgraduate programs and excellent, very well-trained pathologists. I sit back and I'm so happy, Sheila. Some pathology was put on the map of Kenya.
Yes, yes. And your efforts can never go unsung. They must be recognized and they must be saluted. They must be honored. So for me, this is a fantastic opportunity to just watch and see people who shape the future with their passion, with their talent, with their skill, with their intelligence. Daktari, moving,
And the belief, Sheila, that
yeah,
we can do
and
it. I
belief.
don't know why many people say we can't. We are
Yeah.
as well, because I had gone to Britain. I had actually judged everyone there. And
Mm,
when our people are no less. You
yeah.
can, it's a belief that we can do it. It's been
Mhm.
a great journey.
Right.
Yes.
Speaking of journeys, looking at where you began and where you are today, a lot has changed, and there's a lot that brings you joy. You made mention of the accreditations. I'd like you to look back and just highlight the things that have changed for the better, what you've been able to accomplish, and what just makes you think, woohoo, if we can do this in the next 10 years, we're even going to greater heights. What are
Oh,
some of
yeah.
these moments that you've noticed in terms
A
of
lot,
change?
Sheila. First
Mm.
of all, a regulatory body is very important. Before, laboratories was run like a business. You get a license and that's it. You can open a lab. So you've heard of sink labs where they take the sample, throw it in the sink and write the answer,
Yeah.
what the doctor wants. You've heard about that. So
Mhm,
that
mhm.
changed. We had a regulatory body who
Yeah.
started now the inspection of every laboratory
Mhm.
and sort of brought in standards right across the country. I think the urban areas are good. I think we need a lot of help. The rural, shall I say, the peripheries. They
Yeah.
still do not have access to good laboratories, but we're working on it. And
Mhm.
I'll tell you what Pathcare's now dream is. The next step is
Yeah.
make this laboratory available at the periphery by
Uh,
some methods we are working on. Very
okay.
exciting. So now that's my next goal. Can somebody at the periphery, remotest area, get access to good laboratory work?
Okay.
I believe it's a pivot of a good medical practice.
I believe you're going to make it happen. If there's anyone who I'm going to bet on, it's definitely going to be you.
Many challenges, but we are
But
not going to.
with the digital age and the growth of knowledge share, people sometimes just log on, you feel certain symptoms in your body and you think, let me just Google and see, and then I'll know what's wrong with me. But there's certain services you cannot replace even now in this digital age. And I'd like to speak to you a little bit about your technology and using online media, for instance, and online platforms to be able to reach and connect with not just patients, but the medics who also use your services. Let's talk a little bit about the use of tech for Pathcare Kenya.
A lot, Sheila, a
Mm.
lot. As you start growing, we
Yeah.
got 12, 13 units now, all
Mm.
over Kenya. So we got
Wow.
one in laboratory, one in functional labs in Mombasa, Nakuru. These are now functional labs, even in Kisumu.
Mhm.
And talk about technology. Do you know, with our lab information system that we use,
Mhm.
we can get into each other's, they can get into our machinery. We
Yeah.
can. Now, suppose there's a problem in one of the analyte. So my managers, my seniors who are in the head office can
Yeah.
actually look at the analysis of the equipment there and do the
Mhm.
troubleshooting. It is amazing. Sheila, without that, I don't think we would have been able to set up quality laboratories all over,
Mhm.
because our main concern always is quality, more
Mhm.
than
Mhm.
anything. Service, quality and service. Quality
Oh,
must be maintained. And
okay.
my senior people are here. All the people are well trained, but the monitoring is amazing with the digital. As
Mhm.
far as doctors are concerned, now with the corona time, we realized, we
Yeah.
discovered what we're doing now, talking
Mm.
across. So we're having a lot more meetings now on the
Yeah.
Zoom. And to tell you the truth, I'm attending a lot more meetings on the Zoom than I did physically.
Before. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
physically before, I had to travel 2 hours in the traffic to get to a place where the meeting is going on. And I would say, 2 hours, oh my God, and I forget about
I think we've all been prematurely aging in traffic because you sit there getting stressed and thinking you're going to be late for the meeting. But this is making things move a lot
a
faster.
lot, a lot. So now we
Now,
can talk to
speaking,
our doctors. It's amazing. And,
yeah.
the doctors have an access to our
Mhm.
website. They also have an access to me wherever they want. Now, they've got, they made a diagnosis, a preliminary diagnosis. They need
Yeah.
to know the test. The way medicine has mushroomed, the new
Mhm.
things, we can be
Mhm.
specialist only in one subject. You
Mhm.
cannot be a specialist in everything because
Okay.
the knowledge is too vast and it's
Yeah.
coming up too quickly. You can't
Changing every day. Yeah. Yeah.
be every day. And medical world is at a moment in an amazing space.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you need all the specialists, the teamwork, and that's very exciting. When
Truly,
they
it is. Okay, you've talked about quality and service, and I'd like us to look a little bit more at the services that you provide. We've talked about patients who can come in for tests. I know that's exactly what I did several years ago, and I was very happy with the service that I received. I was very, very pleased. Your staff truly are world class. I felt comfortable. I felt informed, and it was great. I truly can vouch for your
Thank
services.
you, Sheila. Tell everybody that I didn't ask you to say that. I didn't even know you were using our services. I'm
I
glad
think,
that you had a happy experience.
yes, I did. I truly did. I didn't even know you back then, but I had such a great time there. But I'd like you to, just walk us through some of the services that you offer, not just for patients, because you've also mentioned that you also help doctors in different fields and in different spheres. So let's take a look at some of the services that Pathcare Kenya provides.
So mostly it is patient orientated, and
Right.
we provide the backgrounds of the tests for the clinicians who are very learned themselves. But
Mhm.
sometimes they say, "What is the newest test?" And I say, "Okay, we change this to a new version," because
Right.
the way the tests are being improved are
Mhm.
amazing, because we're doing target orientated diagnosis now. And
Yeah.
before we used to do the screening, now they're
Mhm.
becoming more and more specific.
Mhm.
So that's the exciting bit. So that's something we discuss with the clinician. But for the patient, he doesn't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
When he comes to the reception, then we
Mhm.
got to make sure that he's looked after, his blood and whatever specimens we collect, we have to make sure is
Mhm.
done under strict quality control measures by
Right.
highly trained staff. We
Mhm.
learned that in our coronavirus, when we put up the lab for the coronavirus, the
Yeah.
collection of specimens, and
Mhm.
majority of the people who come here, they have given me the feedback that they are very gentle, especially nasal swabs. Sheila, I'm so scared for about it. Even I get scared. So to make the patient comfortable, the client,
Yeah.
it's a lot of training. It's an ongoing training. So
Mhm.
that's a service. Now, once we set up these collection units everywhere,
Mhm.
we analyze the reports here for
Mhm.
several reasons. The first one is to maintain the quality. I do
Right.
not allow too much testing to be done out of my control. You can see I'm
Mhm.
a control freak, but I have
It
to make
still
sure
ensures a certain standard. Yes.
the standards have to be maintained. So some
Right.
of the tests which are highly specialized, you got to make sure that the tests are correct.
Right.
So we analyze the test here. The report is printed in our collection unit.
Mhm.
Technology, amazing.
It's
So we
just
don't
making
have to
life.
send the physical one. It's there. They just can print it the moment one of my senior people
Right.
file the report. So
Okay.
that's exciting. the services right across. I mentioned that we want to go to the periphery, and we are looking at it because it has to be affordable. So what we're doing is we're working with groups who are telling us what are the important tests which we can cut the cost and offer it at the periphery. It's a very exciting. So I'm not bored as yet. You can see.
No. You've got so much on your plate. And I love that you're going back to something that you mentioned. I love that you've gone back to something you'd mentioned, when you were working at Kenyatta, and you said, there was a joy in helping the poor. There was fulfillment in making their lives better and helping them access good healthcare. And in this quest that you're moving forward to, the periphery also means you're bringing them in to those who need it most. So that is truly admirable.
I'm trying. Let's hope it works. We're looking at different projects, and the whole idea of Pathcare's growth is that we want to be present in all the 43 counties. And how are we going to work with the county, personnel, and provide the service?
Right. And we wish you all the very best. You can count on my support, whatever you think I can do to help. I'll be right there for you. But
when I go to the remotest place, I'll take you with me.
Yes, please do. I do like to travel and see new places and go through different new experiences. As we wind up, I'd like you to inspire. And I mean, for me, I'm already inspired already, but I'd like you to speak to somebody.
You're not too old.
What? Those are your words of wisdom. You're not too old. Honestly, you are just the most fantastic person I've spoken to this year. I really, really. But I'd like you to close this with, talking a little bit about being where you are and knowing what you've gone through and what keeps you going. Your thoughts on your life so far, on purpose and where you're going to go, and inspiration, really.
To the women, and majority of the women, I'm married with 2 children, grown up, and everything is possible. You just have to have a belief. I think belief. If you don't believe, 2 things are very important, Sheila. You must enjoy what you're doing. Because I'm sure you're enjoying what you're doing. I can tell that.
I'm talking to you. This is too fun.
Meeting different people. That's exciting. I meet lots of people in my line of work, and I love it. So having a belief and enjoying what you're doing, then nothing can stop you. Nothing.
Oh,
that's what I would say.
Thank you.
Thank
you. I believe it.
Okay, then.
What an incredible powerhouse, Dr. Kiran Radia, the founder of Pathcare Kenya. I hope you enjoyed this conversation with her. If you haven't clicked subscribe to this channel, please do so and hit notifications. And I look forward to catching up with you again next week. Don't give up on your goals, don't give up on your dreams, and keep that belief alive, because anything is possible. Until then, live out loud in all that you do. Bye for now.